There's just something about the mist on the morning mountains that makes me just sick to my stomach.
Holy shnikes!
Hey everyone, this is Dad Mode, or Jordan, with my first ever tactical nylon review. A channel had historically just been dirt bike, motorcycle stuff, so been kind of thinking about branching off in this way for a long time, so let's do it. So what I have here today is the Tracer Tactical Split Stout Scout, or their split rig. I recently took this to Maneuver Training Solutions, hosted by Orion Training Group, their 5-day small unit sustainment course, or SUS. And I ran this the entire time. I rarely ever took it off. This has been one of the best tactical nylon pieces of kit I've had in a long time. As a preface, I've had a lot of different companies and manufacturers, chest rigs from Haley Strategic, Velocity, Spiritus Systems, actually quite a few more. I'm not remembering, since 2012 basically. I love those companies, I love their chest rigs, but for what I have found for myself is that the reintroduction of the split rig is really hitting home for me. Let me kind of start diving into what I like about the chest rig, what I like about split rigs in general, how I have this set up, and my overall review after the 5-day course with this. I'll be splicing in some footage from that as well, just to give you some overall context, and you don't have to stare at me trying to be world's most okayest Garand thumb with the deep V flannel. So let's get right into it. I'll start going from left to right and go over some of the things I've done to this. So, the split rig, the chassis or the system is very modular, like a lot of companies have been doing lately, especially with Spiritus Systems 34 Alpha, which I do have. This obviously is just the bare bones chassis with a couple of simps on the bottom. I'll go over what this setup is going to be in a little bit, because I really like both of these split rigs. So real quick, let's just dive into this. So starting on what is actually the right side, because this is a split rig and I'm trying to get this on camera, it connects at the front here, so this would be the left side, this would be the right side. So moving from this way to this way, let's just call it that. I have two JTAC pouches from Spiritus Systems. Really liking these pouches. The thing I really like about Spiritus is their modularity. You can really build on or slim down a lot of their pouches. What I've done to these pouches is I've added the Tracer Tactical Viper system. So what that essentially does is takes the existing hook and loop system common on across most tactical nylon, and has these panels that you just put on top, mitigating that sound, right? So I can open and close these without the sound of Velcro. Attaches at the front and the flap. So really cool system. You can take it off as you please. I've done that with both of these pouches. I've also bought a panel of just Velcro backing from Tracer for my Mutant pouch here too. On this chassis, I can fit two JTACs on one side, and obviously you're seeing the Mutant and the Nalgene pouch here on this side. Even with these, in my opinion, smaller pouches, I'm still running 8 magazines just on here alone. If I wanted to upscale my magazine carrying capacity, all I would really have to do is manage my pouches. I have other pouches, and then add a couple spuds. So I've done the Viper setup on these two spuds as well. If I wanted to run 3 in these each, I'd be carrying a total of, what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14 magazines, or realistically I just put 2 in these and carry a total of 12. I just realized I'm holding up Tracer's awesome radio pouch. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, my other spud pouch is currently on my SATL Mystery Ranch pack here. To externally carry some more magazines, or during the SUS course, I carried my tent stakes in that pouch. So pretty cool multi-use setup here. As we dive into a lot of administrative items, such as Right in the Rain notebook, a smaller Right in the Rain pouch with some dope on it. This pouch I carry glow sticks, compass, Maps can fit in here as well. In the back here, these back panels can have the inserts made for fitting magazines or magazine light knife magazine, right? You could run 2 pistol magazines up here if you want as well. I'm not a big pistol carry guy with my combat loads. I'd rather just carry more magazines or just not carry a pistol at all out here in Appalachia. One other awesome feature from Lunar Concepts, which Tracer directly recommended for this, is their insert here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's their rigid magazine inserts, and I'm running Haley Strategic magazine straps back here. I really like the Haley Strategic ones. They're very, very slim, so they don't cause a lot of bulk, and they secure very well. That way you're not tying things, looping things, it's just the 2 thin inserts. Highly recommend. I really like the rigid inserts for re-indexing magazines. I'm a bit of a stickler on re-indexing magazines, one-handed and not having to move things around. I really do see a lot of value to the soft inserts, such as the ones from Spiritus or Tracer. Up here I have the Spiritus inserts, and if I'm not looking to run magazines up here, they'll just go flush, or at least compress down a bit, especially with the cinch cord from Tracer on these panels, the Viper panels. So highly recommend those inserts from Lunar Concepts. They also just released rifle and pistol insert. I also like running this Haley Strategic small def light, which goes inside of the pistol insert from Spiritus as well. So if it works in the hard insert, might want to do that. Move along to the other side here. Mostly mirror image in terms of the magazines, so I only run 1 retention tab here because these 2, which would be, if you think about it, on this side of my body, my torso, those 2 are my most accessible magazine pouches. So those are more of the speed reload pouches. I'd rather not have the cords there, just for ease of use and being quick about it. So those 2 don't have those cords, and they secure very well, right? I've had full loads in this for the sus class and nothing was coming out. I even ran this split open for a lot of the course because it is hot. Another benefit of a split rig. Moving along, we have the water source, Spiritus Nalgene bottle, Spiritus pouch. This could really be moved anywhere. As far as having a more of a sustained, all-encompassing general use rig. I like my water on my chest rig, but again, if I was looking for more of that combat load heavy setup, I would throw a couple spuds here and here, making my overall magazine carrying capacity a little more stout. Moving on to the Mutant, awesome pouch. Whether you have nods or you're a poor boy like me, very awesome pouch. I simply run this outer pouch, which is it's a magazine pouch, it's a tourniquet pouch, it's a radio pouch from Spiritus, but I put my tourniquet in there for now. And then I had a divider from Spiritus in here, which carries my sighting or ranging optic from Vortex, and then iPro. So keeps them nice and secure in there and has a nice rigid structure. And then I like the fact that the Mutant has a built-in radio pouch, so it holds my A-lens in there very well, which makes me big sad because I'm really looking to find a place to put this Tracer radio pouch, which is, in my opinion, the most ideal pouch for if you're running the A-lenses, the Baofangs, or however you pronounce it. There's a use for this somewhere. I will make this work because I really like this simple radio pouch, which same concept as their Viper pouches or conversions, is a little tab, goes in there, no Velcro, nice and quiet. Anyway, retention's awesome on that. Moving on to more of the structure or the load bearing portion of this, I have a Mayflower Velocity H harness. This H harness is phenomenal. It is really well padded. It has the laser cut, I don't know what you guys call this in the nylon industry. It's just really strong material, but the padded portion, really good. It's almost like a memory foam, super awesome. The other thing I really like about that Mayflower H harness is this is actually altered from their jungle harness. So I cut a strap away on each side to modify it for this split rig use, but also I mentioned before the 34 Alpha. This 34 Alpha with this H harness makes for an awesome belt rig, and I can't wait for you guys to release the rest of the accoutrement for the jungle rig setup you guys have coming out. That will be my main purpose of the 34 Alpha, is that more belt load jungle harness system. I know they have a butt pack coming out. That type of setup doesn't really work well when you're carrying, you know, a 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 liter backpack and you value your hip pads. So very different specific uses for both of these split rigs, but I had this set up with the H harness lowered down to my waistline, picture here, and it's super comfortable, very structurally sound, very secure. So can't wait for them to release the rest of that. Here are some things that on the back side, they have 3 MOLLE panels here and a couple expansion areas, right? And then of course I replaced the waist buckle with the elastic ones from Tracer as well. I have 2 of these. I run them on the 34 Alpha as well. I really like the tension under an elastic buckle versus just a static cinch. Really creates like a real confidence inspiring and secure, snug fit. Coming over to the front of the rig, which is where it buckles, I'm using these stock buckles, which I'm a fan of. I like the buckles. There's a couple different images. I'll show them here. Different types of clips and buckle setups. I think it would be nice to have these come together a little closer, but I do like the low profile of the just traditional buckles, right? So lastly, I'll go ahead and don this thing and show you what it looks like. I'm not really wearing contrasting clothing. I'm sorry, but go ahead and get this on real quick. Now, some comments I got from the class were specifically as it related to being able to put this on like a backpack and not have to really remove any of my other gear. Super nice to just take this on and off, or simply unbuckle it and run it like this if it was super hot and humid out, which it was. So this would just come over here and buckle together, and boom, there you go. So you have your split rig all set up and buckled. Radio wire would usually run up the strap like that. Now the chest rigs, I really like them. In fact, in a lot of ways, the chest rigs I've run in the past, like Haley Strategic, like Velocity, and Spiritus, they have a really good comfort level. They're smaller. However, what I think the split rig does for us is allows us to bridge the gap between completely removing the kit and keeping it on, but also keeping yourself a little cooler, allowing that air to flow across your body was a huge plus in the 80s or 90-degree humid weather up there in Pennsylvania, wilderness pretty much. And being capable of doing work with your hands, building a shelter and keeping your mission essential kit on you, not having to set it aside or bear it in misery and sweating your butt off. So now that I have this back off, I'll wrap this up. Again, being able to do non-combat oriented tasks like building the shelter, setting up your patrol base, not having to set aside equipment, but also having other things that you might find useful on you. Some other uses, again, if you're not familiar with split rigs, is going prone. Maybe you're just going and doing reconnaissance and you're collecting data, and you don't want to be sitting on a chest rig or laying on a chest rig the entire time. Being able to just take it apart, lay flat on your stomach, especially if you're in a hide, whatever the case is, it's little things like that that make carrying kit more tolerable. And when it's go time, this thing snaps back together pretty quickly, and you don't feel like you're less secure than any other chest rig out there. So while this was a review of the Tracer Tactical Stout Scout rig, this also serves as a reminder to go out and get training. That 5-day class was awesome. A lot of good information. It really tested a lot of people's different kit setups, as well as their mentality to perform the not cool duties. We did fire watch shifts, which I have not done since the Marine Corps, so it wasn't really a big deal for me, but the idea of that, going out and doing training and doing the things that are a little harder, make you uncomfortable, is really important. Don't rely on your ego to say, I will do that when the time comes. I'll pull watch when the time comes. I'll be uncomfortable when the time comes. Go out and do it now and immerse yourself in it. When I go backpacking, I actually don't like backpacking. I historically went backpacking because in the wilderness for anywhere from 2 to 7 days, because I thought it was incredibly strenuous. I was uncomfortable. I missed being home. Missed my family, whatever, but it's important to put yourself in a position of being extremely vulnerable, uncomfortable, so that way when sad days, if they do come, if or when, right, you're not really surprised by how you're going to react to it. So whatever, that's my dad advice or whatever. It is important to go out there, shoot your guns, etc. Learn how to do that, but understanding how your body, how your mind reacts in uncomfortable places is pretty critical too. As a side note, nothing here has been given to me or paid for. I am literally a nobody. I bought everything you see here. Nothing's been given to me. I also highly recommend OTG's cadre of instructors and their courses. The course taught by Maneuver Training Solutions, or Blake, and the Leaderless Gentleman. You can find both of them on Instagram. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. So hope you enjoyed this review, and unfollow or click or something, I don't know, click, follow, unlike, no, like, so you can watch more if you want.
Question, what's the long stick for?
I, Ian Roberts, the town mind, who decided to take this challenge on. I am going to shine my light where no light has been showered.
Why do you...